Watch this. What's up, guys? So today I'm gonna make a video where I talk about watches, and I've been thinking about doing a whole series about watches, so this is gonna be kind of me trying this out. I know I had previously made a video about a watch I bought on wish.com, and that's not really what this is gonna be like, but let's just go ahead and get started. So today I want to talk about the Casio AMW 320R, which will focus. There it is. This is mine. This watch has the nickname the Arnie because Arnold Schwarzenegger famously, I guess, wore this watch in the movie Kindergarten Cop. Shut up! There's also a black variant of it, which I have right here. This is the black one. Come on. Pretty much the same as the gold one, but this particular one I just got because it was cheap and it was beat up, and I actually restored the gold one previously to you know, look nearly new. I mean, it's a little beat up looking, but it looks a lot better than it did when I got it. So this one had a almost, I would say, you know, 75% destroyed front glass piece. So I went online, I found it on eBay and had it shipped to me, and then I bought the tool to pop the crown out and put a new one in. And honestly, it was very rewarding to me to do this. So I found this one for about $15. And if you look closely, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see them. So yeah, it does have some, you know, light to medium scratches in the face beyond what you could buff out. You definitely can see it when you're looking at the time. And I would like to have it looking more how this one looks. This one is, you know, crystal clear. And it looks, honestly, this is one of my favorite watches, right? I also wanted to change the strap because this has a Velcro strap, which personally I'm not a big fan of Velcro straps. So I'm gonna personalize it and have a little James Bond NATO style strap on this. I think that would look cool. This watch is effectively a copy of a Seiko watch that had the same feature set. It was an analog chronograph and then a digital underneath. You'd had time and date, stopwatch functionality. The one thing I don't like about this watch is it doesn't have any kind of backlighting. There's lume on the hands and the number spaces on the face, but it doesn't, there's not like a button you can press. So anyway, let's talk about the parts. So obviously you need the watch. I have the crystal here, and I have a NATO strap. So the most common thing somebody would be looking for in a video is what kind of battery does the watch take. I am going to, every time I make a video like this, I will list what battery it is in the description, because it drives me nuts having to wait through somebody's video to figure out what battery it is. I collect watches, and I'm kind of like a, you know, I like to repair them if I am able to. I obviously can't do like mechanical watches and stuff. But these Casio watches, like digital watches, you know, generally I can figure it out. I can at the very least change the battery. So yeah, I don't know. This is a little bit of a freestyle video. I did write something for this, but I'm not reading it. I'm just doing this because I think my videos are weird when I read off of something. So anyway, so let's begin. So you'll need one of these. It looks like a little claw handle to pull off the two spring-loaded things. And then now you have the watch free. You're going to want to save these pieces because you need them to put the watch on the strap in the future. And then here's the old watch strap. Now I went online and I bought a pretty cheap little toolkit just so I had, you know, a set of tools. Now what we're gonna do, I use a pair of pliers for this. People say, oh, you need a case back wrench. Well, I don't. These are not super pointy ones, but I just kind of spread them out, slot them in where they need to be, All right, and then you got to be careful so you don't scratch it, but you want to make sure you apply, you know, a decent amount of squeezing and a decent amount of pressure down, and then just turn it. Oh, almost. Nope. This is why they say you need a case back wrench, but I don't care for that. So yeah, you just turn it till it's loose, and then there you go. So now that we have the back off the watch, this plastic piece is gonna just come right out. You don't want to bring the bottom out yet. You got to pull the watch stem out. So there's the plastic piece. All right. So now we got to take out the watch stem, which is right here. All right. There should be a little dot you can see. So you want to pull it out. One click. So the watch stops. There's a little thing you push. I'm trying to show you where it is. There's a little arrow pointing to it as well, but it's pretty easy to figure out. Once you pull this out one notch, you'll see if I can show it to you. That little, look right in there. Okay? There's a little thing that moves, right? I hope you saw that. And then when you bring it down to wherever you're gonna put it, there's a little arrow pointing right here that says push. And it's just a little piece you push down, you'll hear it click, and then this should, you gotta pull it while you push. Then that should come right out. And there's your crown. It's a good opportunity to clean it. Sorry, I'll put that there so you can see it. There's your crown and stem. Good opportunity to clean that piece if you're gonna do that. And some of you are probably wondering, why am I doing this on my bed? Well, one thing about the bed that's nice is it's a soft surface, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, as opposed to dropping it on like a table or a chair or something, drop it on your bed, it's not that big of a deal. I will have to go over to a hard surface when I take the glass out. So there's the watch movement. Right, so now that's out of the watch. So you want to set that aside somewhere where it's not going to get all dusty. I'm just going to put it over here for right now. And then this is the plastic piece that goes around the outside. That'll go back in there when I change crystal. So that leaves you with just this, right? It's just the outside of the watch. I might also pop the bezel off. You don't really need to pop the bezel off, but since I'm doing all this, I figure I'd go in there and clean. All right, I have one of these. It's a little watch press. It comes with an assortment of different sizes and shapes of attachments. This one was not very expensive. I'm gonna say I paid like $8 or so for it. But you want to find something that's gonna go on the inside and just push the glass out. Honestly, this might already be sized for this. All right, so yeah. The most important thing here is just make sure it's lined up right. I mean, a lot of times you need to apply quite a bit of pressure to pop it out. So I'm gonna go over here and do it. Something solid to do it on. All right, so after one good thunder chunk, there's the scratched up watch crystal. All right, so let us see the new one here inside this nifty little box. We have a new one. All right. Now they only go one way. One side's flat, obviously. The other side has a bit of a curvature to it. The side that's curved is the side that sticks up. It's always a good idea to clean down in there, make sure there's still a gasket inside, which there is a white gasket in mine. The other one I have has a black gasket. That's kind of odd. So, truth be told, I should have took the bezel off from the beginning, just because it makes it easier. And now I got some rubbing alcohol. and a Q-tip right here. And I'm going to go to town cleaning up the inside of this, because honestly it doesn't look that bad, but let me give you a couple times around. I mean, it's pretty gross. Anyway, one of the points I'm trying to make with these videos is, like, you don't have to be, you know, you don't got to have a professional workspace or anything like that to work on your watches. All you need is, you know, a small area somewhere where you can be set up. Look how gross that is. I'm gonna put that right there so you can see how gross that is. You just need a small area where you can be set up, where things won't be scratched or damaged. A couple of hard surfaces help for when you need to pop a crystal in or something like that. And like I said, in reality, you know, these, you spend 15-20 bucks on a vintage watch. If it's something as simple as just cleaning the outside of the case and, you know, replacing a crystal or whatever like that, you know, those are not really that difficult. Stuff you could handle yourself and then potentially resell the watch once it's been repaired. So that's not what I'm doing here, but I mean, if I wanted to, I could. Also, I keep all my watches in like a box, so when they are done, you know, they stay nice for a while. So okay, so now we're going to sink the new crystal in here. So yeah, you're going to want to lay the crystal in over top real nice, right? Just like that, so you know it's nice and even, nice and level. You set it on there, everything's nice and straight, right? Bring the thing down, make sure it's going to push evenly right in the middle. And then I like to take a microfiber cloth, just lay it over top, so that when I push it, I know it's not going to scratch up the thing. Oh, and it went right in. Very good. So you could feel it kind of pop into place right there. Excuse my microphone handling. So you can feel it pop into place. It just went straight down. Very nice, very smooth. And I like to check by pushing up against it a little bit. Maybe I'll rotate it 90 degrees and crank it down again. Once it's in there though, like, it's in there. So I like to go around and be sure that you got it done. Okay, so there it is. So now that we have the crystal in there, first thing you're going to want to drop in is this piece. It's got all the notches in it. It goes around the thing. Now, most importantly here is that it lines up decently. A lot of these, people complain that they don't line up very good. And, like, I get it. Oh yeah, also the battery. It's a 371 battery inside. So I'll put that in the description for anybody who is looking for the battery type. So now we're going to drop the movement in. Just like that. Nice and smooth. Make sure everything's lining up good. Making sure I didn't trap any dust inside of there. Not that it's that big of a deal to open it up again, but you know, I don't want to. All right, so that's in there. Now we're going to put the crown stem and the pusher back in. This is pretty simple. So all you got to do is, see if I get to focus first. All right, all you gotta do is make sure it's going in to the hole. You'll feel kind of where it's supposed to land, and then you should just feel it snap back into place when you got it where it needs to be. Yep, there it is. And then flip it over, make sure the watch movement is moving. There we go. Now it should be. Yep. Sometimes you gotta finagle it a little bit, but There we go, dude, it's getting there. Okay, now when you put this plastic piece back on, there's these two little wing things. You got to make sure those make it underneath the pushers. Because if you put it on, and they're not underneath the pushers, then the pushers won't work. So we're going in like that. Pusher, operating correctly. And put the gasket back on to ensure our watch retains its water resistance. All right, so now what we're gonna do is put this on, gonna line it up by hand real nice. Make sure the gasket's still in the groove it's supposed to be in. And then I like to make it, you know, decently hand tight. Come over here and tighten it the rest of the way with my trusty pair of pliers. Like I said, yeah, you should get a case back thing, but honestly, this works just fine for me. And it's just, you know, whatever, 1/8 of a turn. So to get the bezel back on, I gotta use my little press thing. That's kind of why it's a pain in the ass to take it off, because you gotta pop it back on too. There's the watch with a new crystal. It's all clean and focus. It's all clean and neat. Whoops! So there it is. The watch is all put back together. I put the bezel back on. As you can see, we have a nice, clean, scratch-free crystal. And then I put the, whatever you call those, the bars back on, the lug bars, or I don't know what you call them, the things that the strap goes on to. And the piezo works good. It's always good to double check, especially on the Casios like this, where the speaker that makes the beep noise is actually on the back of the case. That's why there's a little spring that goes through. So you got to make sure that you put it back on right, you didn't lose that spring, or it's not going to make noise anymore. So anyway, NATO strap time. Now, I'm relatively new to NATO straps. I have put them on 2 watches that I have already. I get it. I think that it's pretty cool. So let me take off the watch I have on. First of all, also, this is a little bit of a foreshadow for you guys. Next video I make, I think, is going to be about Invicta watches. Invicta watches are pretty polarizing, and honestly, I get why, but I like them. This is my Invicta Speedway. It's a Rolex Daytona knockoff, copy, homage, whatever you want to call that. But I want to talk about Invicta because honestly, Invicta gets a lot of hate from people, especially people in the watch community who, you know, feel like your watch has to be very expensive to be good. I think that these watches are fine, and I think that they're cool, and I think that, you know, for 1/100th of the price of a Rolex, you can have something that's fashionably similar, while still not being knockoff, because it's not, you know, it doesn't say Rolex, it says their name. Anyway, for another video. So, this is a NATO strap. Real NATO straps have this second accompanying part, which the point of that is, you know, it keeps your watch from falling off if you lose one of the pins. So all you do is you take your nice cleaned watch, nicely updated watch here, and then you just loop it through the lugs. You know, pull it up nice and tight so it's up in that portion. You take the back loop part, you slide it over, and then you can kind of put that wherever you'd like in between the two. But then it looks like that. And then you put it on, if you know, are smart enough to do that. So I need this piece to go When you first get them on, they're kind of funky because they don't like to be, you know, strap's not broken in yet, so they don't like to be bent around. Anywho, so yeah, you're gonna put that on, cinch that up like you would any other thing, and we got the nice James Bond styly on a NATO strap. Look at that. My goal here was to kind of get that, you know, get the flavor of a Submariner type watch. Get out of the way. All right, so finished product. There it is, NATO strap. Got the kind of look and feel of a Submariner type James Bond little Joni. And there you have it. So how long did that take me? 1:33, that's not what time it is. 2:32, that's what time it is. I don't know when I started doing that, maybe 2 o'clock, so it took me a half hour. And I did mess it up. I did lose the little ball bearing that goes in the bezel. And I found the spring, but I didn't find the ball bearing. So the spring's in the back of the case for funsies, but now this just kind of spins freely. Which again, I don't care because this particular watch, the bezels on diving watches are only supposed to go counterclockwise. So the fact that this one always went both ways is wrong anyway, so I don't really care. Also, this is my watch for me, so. But regardless, I like repairing these, replacing the crystals, so on and so forth. Get the focus off of me. Look at the friggin' watch. That's why we're here. Yeah, my second time redoing one of these. I really like them. I think that, again, if you're a fan of vintage watches, these really aren't super old yet, so they're still pretty cheap. I think the first one I had I paid like $60 for. Like I said, I bought this one for $15. The watch crystal was $10. NATO strap was about $5. So altogether, you have $30 involved in, you know, having basically a brand new watch. Mind you, I'll probably have to change the battery at some point. I keep a bunch of batteries around because I have so many watches. But this, again, this is one of my favorite watches. And I'm glad that, they're still readily available for folks to get them and fix them up if they want to, or you can, I think, even still buy them brand new. I don't know if they still make this particular one, but I know there is some similar model. There is an AQ100 that I would like to get one of because it actually does illuminate the digital section of the watch, which is a little bit more modern, but I like it. I'm happy with it. It's nice and clear and easy to see. So, yeah, there you go. Thank you for watching me do this, and expect more watch-related content in the future. Yeah.